Hi, my name is Carl Schneider, and I'm the Memphis Community Organizer with Stand for Children. We're all out here today with partner organizations and wonderful elected officials because we know that children must be our biggest and highest priority in Shelby County. We're excited that Shelby County Schools has asked for additional funding to guarantee more behavior specialists and guidance counselors, and we believe that these are key ways to close the school-to-prison pipeline. Thank you all for being here today. We're here to make sure that the Commission fully funds Shelby County Schools for the 18-19 school year. Thank you, and now we'll hear from a student, Brenda.
Good afternoon. My name is Brenda Crawford, and I'm a rising sophomore at Tradesman High School, and a member of Campaign for Student Advocacy Program. Today I stand before you representing over 100,000 of my peers attending local public schools in Shelby County. I attended Georgia Hills prior to starting at Tradesman. As a student, I had first-hand experience with ripped textbooks, leaky floors, permanent subs, lack of technology, and cut programs. These obstacles hinder us from making adequate academic progress. I believe all students, regardless of where they live in the county or color of their skin, deserve access to equitable resources, safe building, and high-quality schools. I urge Shelby County Commission to support Shelby County Schools budget requests to ensure that my fellow students and I receive the critical resources that we need to lead Memphis into the future. I have dreams of being a nurse and assisting the people in my community. I need my teachers to be paid fairly, access to educational opportunity, and continual funding for critical needs schools to ensure my success in high school, college, and beyond. Our county commissioners, I ask you to hear student voice and invest $12.7 million in our future success of me and my peers throughout public schools in our county. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Henry. I'm a director of Faith Formation with Agape, Child and Family Services. I'm also the senior pastor at Journey Christian Church. I'm here as an advocate for our kids, an advocate for our city. And one thing I know about our county commissioners, they always do the right thing. I believe that with everything that's in me. They're going to do the right thing. We're asking for $12.7 million as a start to kind of get us where we need to be. We'll ask some more later. I believe, again, with everything in me, that this group of commissioners are going to do the right thing. Teach the children. I remember when I was called several years ago, people get afraid of this, but the Lord spoke to me. And he said 3 words: teach the children. I'm telling Shelby County and all the folks that are listening, we've been called to teach the children. If you're biblical sources, Abraham was called the father of faith. And I always wondered why God would choose Abraham. Why Abraham? He chose Abraham, the Bible says, because he knew that Abraham would teach his children. So we're going to ask for $12.7 million. We know that these commissions are going to do the right thing. We're going to say thank you in advance. God bless you.
Good afternoon. My name is Pastor Earl Fisher. I'm the senior pastor at Abyssinian Baptist Church in Whitehaven, and I'm also the lead organizer of Up to Vote 901, a nonpartisan initiative intended to increase voter turnout in Memphis and Shelby County. With the August 2nd county general, state, and federal primary elections looming, and early voting only weeks away, I want to encourage every concerned and engaged citizen to watch very closely the voting record of our elected officials, especially on issues like this. And I encourage us to listen to the policy platforms of aspiring candidates to know exactly where they stand on school funding. I think it tells us a lot about who represents the will of the majority and who panders to the political will of a few. In the past several years, we've seen an intensified politicizing of public safety, public education, and other public services paid by our tax dollars. Therefore, we've seen the past several years serve us an aggressive funding of law enforcement and a reluctant funding of public education. And it's this type of political opportunism that continually wides the gap of the politically astute and the perpetually exploited. When our elected officials and those appointed to serve us care more about our collective advancement than their political careers, they draw the necessary connections between public safety and public education. Adequately funding schools produces higher functioning citizens. The best public safety strategy, in my estimation, is to immediately invest more fully in our students, our teachers, faculty, and administration. Then we invest in our sheriffs, officers, jails, and district attorneys. I'm hopeful that we can see this strategy implemented today at the county level and beyond at the state level and at the federal level and at the city level in the weeks to come leading up to the elections in August, November 2019 and 2020. Thank you.
Hi, I'm School Board Member Chris Caldwell, and this is
Stephanie Love.
and we're here to support this budget request. I feel like that public education is the most strategic and important investment any government can make, especially here in Shelby County. We're funded about 45th in the country, which is woefully inadequate. The county does their job, and I'm sure they're going to stand up and support us for this $12.7 million. But don't think that that's all we need. We probably need more, $100 million a year more than we're currently getting. But we're grateful for this. We're grateful to everybody that came down here to support us. And again, I know this county commission is going to do the right thing and support us. So I'm going to thank them in advance as well. And let's hope we can get even more next year. So thank you for coming. Amen.
So, I'm County Commissioner Eddie Jones, also the budget chair for the County Commission. I will say this as it relates to education, the county putting me in. Since I've been here in my first term, we have awarded the school system more than $66 million in increases in funding. And we know that there is a huge gap, and we continue to help with those increases to ensure that our children are properly being educated. As it relates to the request that the district has made, we've already agreed to give them $90 million in CIP dollars, and we have come to an agreement to get them the 12.7 of increase for operational costs. And so we'll be voting on that today. And so I think since this commission has been here, we have increased school funding for the past 4 years. We'll continue to do that, to continue to educate our children.
I want to join Budget Chair Jones in supporting this effort to adequately fund education. Both Commissioner Jones and I are products of the Shelby County Schools. Of course, at the time it was called the Memphis City Schools. And so we're proud graduates platform or plan that we can have. The Bible says, and I'm stealing from Reverend Fisher, the Bible says, train up a child in the way that he or she should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. So the formula is set out. We know that if we invest in education, if we invest in proper services to meet the child all around, that means their emotional needs, their psychological needs, their intellectual needs and curiosity, I think we can develop complete young students. And so when they graduate and matriculate K through 12, they can be productive citizens in this society. We have the plan, we just need to invest in that plan. We either going to invest in our kids one way or the other. We also fund juvenile court and we fund the criminal justice system. I would much rather fund education. This is a better place to fund. So I support the 12.7 million. I support Shelby County Schools. I support our youth. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, State Representative G.A. Hardaway, and I'm in full support for funding the investments that are necessary for our children. It's not merely their future, but it's the future of Memphis and all the rest of the tiny towns in Shelby County. It's the future of the great state of Tennessee. And it makes sense that we would pursue an investment in education as opposed to spending dollars, costs, not investments, in juvenile justice. Spend an investment dollar in education. Don't spend a cost dollar in health care. Literacy is a cost dollar. Poor housing, mental health, all of these can be initially addressed with adequate education. I ask that the rest of the Shelby County Commissioners join Van Turner and Eddie Jones in fully funding the investment in our children. Investments, by definition, have rates of return. And I dare say that there's an investment in children with immeasurable rates of return when it comes to education. So instead of cost payments to literacy, to juvenile crime, to adult prison systems, to mental health issues, to drug cases, let's make an investment, a smart dollar investment in our children's education. And when you do that, you're going to give us being the Shelby County Democratic Caucus, the Tennessee Black Caucus of state legislators, you'll give us the credibility when we go into this new administration in 2019, and we talk about sending some state dollars now to match those county dollars for capital improvements, sending some state dollars now that increase the BEP and gives you a transparent and a real BEP formula that you can understand that represents an investment by the state in our children's education and in all of our future. So, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. We invite everyone to stay and join us during the County Commission meeting and watch the vote take place and ensure that Shelby County Schools gets $12.7 million of additional funding for the upcoming school year. Thank you again.